If you had the opportunity to take some advice that was given to you for free, and that advice could change your whole life in positive ways, beginning from today, would you take that advice? And more importantly, when I say would you take that advice, what I really mean is, would you act on that advice? In other words, when you hear the advice, would you just think, yeah, that sounds great, and then go about your usual life, starting the next minute, the next day, the next week, and nothing ever changes? Or would you take that advice, especially if it was for free, and then would you act on that advice, and would you actually put that advice into action every single day, starting with today? Well, I'm going to give you some advice in every video that I upload to YouTube that will help improve your life in many, many ways. Whether you're a teenager, whether you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s, it makes no difference. This advice is free, and I would recommend that you listen to it and that you act on it. And once you put it in action, you'll see that everything improves. And if things are already good now, they will go from good to great. Imagine, if you will, you're at the beach. Let's say you're on the coast of California. Maybe you're on the Atlantic coast. You could be anywhere on the ocean, and you're getting onto a sailboat. And you're going to take a nice excursion that day on a sailboat. So you launch the sailboat out towards the ocean, and the sailboat is blown by the winds, and you're enjoying yourself, but you notice that the sailboat is going deeper and deeper and deeper into the ocean. And you're thinking, hey, wait a minute. Didn't someone tell me before I left on this trip that I needed to install the rudder? Oh, you do know what the rudder is, right? That's the thing that you use to steer a sailboat. So here you are on this sailboat, ready to enjoy your day out on the ocean on this beautiful sailboat. The winds are blowing, but you have no rudder. And you have no way to turn that sailboat around and go back to shore. Or you have no way, at least, to go parallel with shore or go anywhere else, because you're being driven by the winds out deeper and deeper into the ocean. Would you be happy about that? Would that be unsettling? Would you panic because you have no way to steer? Well, that is where your life is right now, in most cases. And if you don't realize what I'm talking about, and you're not panicking, then you're not thinking about the fact that you have no way to steer, because if you have a way to steer, you still don't know where it is you want to steer towards. And this is where most people are in their lives. They're like a rudderless sailboat. And what I mean by that is that they have no goals. If you don't know where you're going, as I think Yogi Berra once said, you'll probably end up someplace else. And that someplace else will not necessarily be what your dreams were, your expectations. When you see that other person who's wealthy, when you see that person driving a Mercedes, when you see that social media influencer that you know earns millions of dollars a year, who has a big house, who has a good life, when you see people that are taking vacations to different parts of the world and enjoying themselves, in many cases, those people were able to achieve all those things because every day they knew what they were aiming for. They knew where they were going to go, and they knew the route that they were going to take. They were not like a rudderless sailboat. They knew how to steer their way towards what they wanted. So goals that you may have heard people talk about, and something that a lot of people bring up around New Year's Day, but rarely take the action to achieve, are the difference between a good life and a mediocre life. And the sooner you learn that, if you're a teenager or in your 20s especially, although you can always change if you're older, you have the benefit of getting on this course of action, which is goal setting and changing your whole life for the better. Now, goals have to be very specific. You can't just say, yeah, sometime in the future I want to have $1 million. No, goals have to be very specific. Goals have to be bitten off in small pieces if it's a big goal. I've always used the analogy, if you're going to sit down and eat an entire cake, you have to do it one bite at a time. And the only way you can make a really major goal is to break it up into incremental goals and achievements. So let's say you say in 5 years, I'm going to have $1 million. Here's how you go about doing that. First of all, you write down that goal today. Not tomorrow, not a week from now, today. Get happy and get excited because in 5 years from now, you know you're going to have $1 million. And the reason that you can be so certain is that you've set the goal and now you're going to work every single day towards achieving that goal. So instead of just leaving it at that and saying in 5 years you have this distant goal to have all this extra cash, what you do is you say, a month from now, I will have taken steps every time I get paid to save X number of dollars. And that money I will put into a separate bank account, or I will open up a brokerage account and invest in an index mutual fund, maybe something that reflects the whole market, like the Russell 2000 or the Standard & Poor's 500. And you decide, starting right after you watch this video, that this is what you're going to do. You're going to take action. You're not just going to think about, yeah, this is a great idea. You're going to do it. And so, you open an account specifically for this purpose, and starting with your next paycheck, you put some money into that account. And then on the next paycheck, you put some more money into that account. So if you get paid every 2 weeks and you have a goal for a month from now to have, let's say, $200 in the account, then that should be your first goal 1 month from now. You should have another goal, and you should be writing these down, that your next goal will be for 2 months from now. and your next goal 3 months, so that by the time you get to the end of year 1, you have a goal that you've put X number of dollars into this account, and hopefully if it's earning a good return, if you invest in a stock mutual fund, if you're a younger person, and the markets rally again like they did for 11 or 12 years up until up until around the first part of 2021, if we get into another rally period, there's the potential that you could achieve your goal very well that way. But the important thing is that your goal has to be specific, your goal has to be written down, and if you share your goal with anyone else, make sure it's people that are supportive, not people that will diminish your your excitement about reaching a goal. Only tell people that you know will share the goal and support you in that goal. And then you have to take action, which is the most important thing. Nothing ever gets achieved until you actually start it, until you put it into action. No amount of advice on the internet, no amount of advice on YouTube will do you any good until you literally put that into action. And you do something starting that day that gets you an inch or a mile or some increment towards achieving that goal. So this is my assignment for you. Whatever your goal is, if it's a monetary goal, then take steps that I've just outlined to start building money up. If your goal is to learn martial arts and to be a black belt, then your goal immediately, either today or tomorrow, should be to research the local martial arts academies and training centers, pick the one with the best reviews and sign up and start. You'll be a white belt, you'll be a green belt, you'll be a purple belt, brown belt, eventually you'll be a black belt. If that's your goal. If your goal is to go see a Super Bowl, take steps to start saving money to achieve that goal, to be able to pay for tickets. If your goal is to get into a particular job, if you want to be a teacher, for instance, and you're a young person and you haven't started yet, then make sure that you take the steps in high school to meet the requirements for whatever college you want to go to that they require for somebody that wants to get a degree in education and then later to get a teaching certificate. Whatever your goal is, you have to start doing something today. That's it. The secret is taking action. And the secret is starting. Those are the two biggest steps in achieving a goal. I've heard it said that if you take the first steps to achieving a goal when you start, you're already halfway there. Your goal is definitely going to be achieved if you start it. If you don't start it, it will never happen and your life will go on the same. So my advice as an older person to any younger person that's younger than me is, if you want your life to be successful, if you want to achieve all the things that you dream about, that you aspire to, then get in the habit of setting goals. It makes all the difference. Please also set a goal to subscribe to this channel, to come back often, to watch the videos, to listen, like the videos, And I guarantee you, taking good advice and advice that's free from someone who's been on this earth for a long time and has tried to learn from that experience will benefit you in more ways than you can imagine. Thanks for watching this video, and we'll see you next time.